All right, guys, Eric Paul's in here, going to give you the best bets for the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're coming off of our lock bet, Emiliano Grillo over Ian Poulter. That was an easy one to cash. We're going to give you one of those lock bets again in this video. Let's get right into it, guys. So as you guys can see, we already do have the cover boy Sam Burns there. He's going to be a popular option. He already was bet down from 50 to 1 to now 45 to 1. So I do want to call out this right here for you guys. This is something that I posted Monday morning, pretty much an hour after the odds came out. Not much has really changed, which is kind of surprising with this week. And I think that kind of tells you the week that we have here. It is a week where there are a lot of quality plays given their current odds or, salary points. If you're doing DFS, they all kind of make sense. There's no real standout ones, although we do have a couple here. So, starting Monday, I was really on Tyrell Hatton, great staff in good current form, plays well on tougher tracks. Sam Burns 50 to 1, now 45 to 1. And I expect some of these numbers to change a little bit more come Wednesday night. Paul Casey 25 to 1, Matthew Naismith, one of the best staff hits in the field, 100 to 1, and then the seventh best staff hit, Patton Cassier 175 to 1, and then Sungjae Im 25 to 1. So just look for that. Monday morning's gonna be tweeting that out. We gotta get that out there for you guys, especially with that great graphic game that 9 and 5 has going. Best probably in fantasy golf there. Take pride in that, to be honest with you guys. I like the graphics there at 9 and 5, but we'll just touch on these ones here real quick, kind of show you guys why I like them. We'll start off here with Tyrell Hatton. So I have Tyrell Hatton already pulled up. Now, recent form average. Now, this is just based off of the PGA Tour. It's kind of redundant if you want to look at the European Tour. It's tougher to gauge those in terms of PGA Tour starts. Now, obviously, if they're playing well on the European Tour, you like to see that. And that's exactly what Tyrell Hatton has been doing. And that carried over into his start last week, where he had a 22nd place finish there at the WGC event. He also played well at the RSM Classic in his two most recent PGA Tour starts. We look at his course history. Now, he's really getting knocked here because of his 69th place finish there in 2018. Other than that, though, 4th, a 29th, and a first place finish, obviously, last year. Tyrell Hatton just really plays well on these tougher tracks, so I really like him as a pick. His only bad stat that we're looking at this week is par 5 scoring. Now, if a player is scoring on par 5s and they're not making many bogeys, they're just setting themselves up to make the cut. And this is a course where if you're taking advantage of the par 5s and you're not making many bogeys, you're going to be putting yourself into a good position. So if he gets a little bit better there, the sky's the limit for him. I could easily see him going back-to-back titles this week. 18 to 1, I really do like him as a pick. And then we just go on to Sungjae Im here. So Sungjae Im 25 to 1. Kind of shocked that we're getting him at 25 to 1. Recent form average is 29th in the field. Recent form average 29th just in general. That could be better, but really not any bad starts. A 5th, a 12th, a 32nd, a 17th, and then the 28th place finish last week. We saw that he was right there to potentially, win. He kind of fell off there, but the game is there. So I won't be shocked if at a tougher track where he typically does play better at, 2 straight top 5 finishes here, he won at a tougher track as well. Could easily see him going out and playing well for the best stat in the field, guys. His lowest stat that we're looking at is par 5 scoring, 37th in that. Everything else is T37 or better, top 10 in total driving and ball striking as well. Sungjae Im does make a lot of sense for a guy that we know is going to play smart and, does play, better on tougher tracks. And talk about a guy that plays better on tougher tracks. We got Paul Casey here, guys. So once again, with him, the only worry with him is that he's 126 in par 5 scoring, and that's just the worry with him. But he's strong in ball striking, strong in total driving. Top 13 staff fit. Course history, he hasn't played this course really in the last 4 years, except for 2017 when he had that 41st place finish. If you guys watched the Core Plays video on Monday, you guys know I'm on him. I like Paul Casey a lot as a pick. 2 straight solid finishes, and he was in contention come the PGA Championship. He just plays better on those tougher tracks. So yeah, I like Paul Casey this week as well. And then just touching on Sam Burns, everyone's on him, but he is going to be a quality pick for us this week. So Sam Burns, just looking at it, guys. So course history could be better, but let's just put it into perspective. Sam Burns was really nothing up until this season. I remember talking about it, I think on the write-up 2 weeks ago, on the 9 to 5 write-up 2 weeks ago. I'm like, guys, it's more shocking that Sam Burns isn't a top 10 staff at this week than the fact that he's not, because Sam Burns had been a top 10 staff at really the whole year so far, this whole PGA Tour season thus far, and he's back there again this week. Top 4 staff fit, recent form, it's there. You know, he had one bad start mixed in there, and that's kind of what's knocking him. Other than that, 18th, 22nd, 39th, and then a third place finish there at the Genesis Invitational. He was on the betting card that week. He's going to be on the betting card this week as well. You know, he's one of those guys that you would say are due for a victory. And then just going to touch on a couple of other kind of long, or not long shot bets. We'll get into that in a second here, but you know, bets here that I really do like. So Jason Kokrak, 35 to 1. You know, that is not the best number there, but he's a guy that I easily could go out and see winning. You know, he's a guy that is checking all the boxes this week. So once again, if he goes out and does well, not going to surprise us. Course history average, he has one miscut, but really other than that, 18th, 10th, and a 52nd place finish. Recent form has been very solid, especially last week where he had a top 10 finish. And he really didn't have anything going, guys, last week. And he was just able to kind of play a solid golf game throughout the whole week and ended up with the top 10 finish. Just imagine if he goes out and actually plays well, he could easily go out and win this week. I wish the odds were a little bit better. 35 to 1 does seem a little bit steep. Maybe you guys can shop around and find some better odds there. Still, I don't mind him as a pick. And then just talking about, you know, Marc Leishman here, I actually don't mind. I think he's going to be a quality pick for us this week. You know, 50 to 1 seems kind of low for his caliber of play. I think he's a solid pick. And then same thing for Louis Oosthuizen. I'm just going to compare those two here to show you guys kind of what I'm seeing. So Louis Oosthuizen, just want to throw it out there real quick. Top 12 staff fit. Recent form average is great. Has kind of struggled at this course, surprisingly. He's a guy that typically does play well on tougher tracks. So, you know, he makes much more sense as an outright bet than he would kind of in your PGA DFS builds because, you know, outright bets, you're just kind of wasting one bet instead of like wasting a risky play on a build where you could go elsewhere. But I just really like him, you know. Recent form is great. Stat rank is great. And then we'll pull up Marc Leishman. So Marc Leishman, kind of the opposite of that, where he's not the best stat rank play, as we can see. But everything else is there. You know, both of these guys are rating out pretty well. 11th for Marc Leishman in the model. I like him at 50 to 1. And then 20 model rank for Louis Oosthuizen. I like that as well. But let's get into the top 40 bets. Then we'll get into those long shot bets because there are some pretty decent ones this week where, you know, the numbers aren't really making too much sense, and we'll get into that here. And actually, guys, my lock bet of the week is actually going to be here in the top 40 section. That's actually going to be Kyle Stanley. So Kyle Stanley, I really like. He's checking all the boxes this week. I'm going to pull him up on my 9 to 5 player sheet here and just talk it over with you guys. So if you bet like $20 on him, you're going to profit 30 if he gets the top 40. And the reason why I like him is that he is casually checking all the boxes. So course history wise, could be a little bit better. Miscut in 2019, but after that, a 14th and a 17th place finish. Recent form has been great. 32nd, 18th, 36th, 39th, and 32nd. So what are we seeing there, guys? All those finishes have been top 40 or better. Now he gets a course where, you know, he's playing well. He's a top 34 stat fit. Where is he lacking? He's lacking in par 5 scoring and total putting. Both of those he ranks like 170 or so. But he's 47th in ball striking, 24th in bogey avoidance, 19th in effective greens gained. So Kyle Stanley, to me, at those odds, to get him to top 40, I like that a lot. Now, I wouldn't want to push it really with a top 30, but maybe you could get him as like a made cut bet as well. I think that's really strong. Please don't burn me, Kyle Stanley. You know, he's casually been a value play for 9 to 5 for a while now. So, you know, hopefully he can come through for us once again. And then after that, I'm just looking for some other plus numbers. Some of these guys will be long shot bets, so I won't touch on them too much. But who are some other picks? So, like Cameron Piercy, guys, he has been playing some great golf. Yes, he let us down at the Puerto Rico Open, kind of fading there. I know if he had won, I would have taken down a lot of money at the Puerto Rico Open. Instead, he only hit top 10, which was fine. But at plus 175 to top 40 for a good stat fit, for a guy that's in great recent form, I like that number a lot. And then we could potentially go back to the well with John Huh. I'd be fine with that. Don't want to touch on that too much because I don't love him, but I'd be fine with it. Brendan Steele at plus 163 to top 40. I like that number a lot with him as well. You know, those are both solid numbers for players that, you know, I don't think will win, but those are great numbers. And then Charlie Hoffman as well. He's a guy that I'm going to be betting outright, but if you guys would much rather want to, like, I don't want to say top 40 because he's a guy where if he does make the cut, I fully expect him to top 20. So maybe that's the route that you go with him. He's a guy that could be in contention as well. Just don't want to go crazy with it. But let's just talk about some matchup bets. There are two that really stuck out to me. And I'll pull those up here, guys. So the two that really stood out to me were actually Rory and Tyrell Hatton. So let's just pull up those two. We'll compare them on the 9-to-5 sheet here. So we got Rory, and then we got Hatton. So everyone knows that Rory really isn't in the best recent form. So we can see the stat rank 35th. That's actually getting better, guys. Just so you guys know that. It's been getting better. Recent form rank 25th. We look at Tyrell Hatton, 7th in recent form, stat rank 14th. Course history average 22nd. But I think the real difference here is that, Roy's rated 8th in the model. That's not bad, but Tyrell Hatton's rated 4th. I think why this was kind of posted is because they both have good course history. A lot of people are going to bet that, Roy can kind of just overcome his, I guess, poor recent form and play well. I shouldn't say poor. He missed one cut, and other than that, they've been top 20 finishes. I'm just betting on the plus number with Tyrell Hatton there. I think that's a little bit safe this week. I do want to say there might be something with Rory playing on these Florida courses, because I don't know if you guys remember the match 2.0, the TaylorMade match that happened. He really dominated that course, and that was another Florida course as well. So maybe there's just something to Florida golf that Rory McIlroy does like. But for me, I do like Tyrell Hatton over Rory this week. And then there's one other bet that kind of stood out to me. There's not really a lock bet here for matchup purposes, but I really did like Jason Day and Jason Kokrak. So we'll pull up the Jasons here. If I can type, let's get it. All right, so Jason Kokrak and then Jason Day, making it easy on us. So let's just compare the two guys. Jason Day ranking out 27th in the model. Jason Kokrak ranking out 9th in the model. The only thing that Jason Day has on Jason Kokrak is course history average, 18th. Let's see what it is. So 22nd and 23rd, where Jason Kokrak's coming off of an 18th and a 10th, and his most two recent starts, I only like to look at the last 4 years of data because that's when it's the most significant. After that, it really falls off a lot. And so, yeah, Jason Kokrak, it's there for him, but recent form-wise, we can see it. It's been there for Jason Kokrak. Just overall, grays out as a much better play as Jason Day this week. So that'd be another one that I go with, especially at those plus numbers. That's what I really like to see. Then, you guys know that I like Paul Casey this week. So Paul Casey over Patrick Reid. Let's just pull up those two and compare them. So Patrick Reid and now Paul Casey. You guys already saw Casey, but we'll, pull him up for comparison reasons here. So Patrick Reid, he's putting like a beast this year, but that's really all he has going for him. He does tend to play better on tougher tracks, but, course history could be better. A 7th, a 50th, and a 15th, not bad, but, could be better for going up against Paul Casey, I guess, where, recent form, they've both been solid recently. I like Paul Casey much better as a stat fit, 13th compared to 45th for Patrick Reid. And we're just getting him at a plus number, the better ranked player in the model at a plus number. That is something that just kind of stood out to me. Now, if you guys don't want to do those, you can get into the long shot bets here, and we'll touch on those right now. All right, so long shot bets here, guys. For me, a long shot bet is anyone that is plus numbers, okay? Or, sorry, not plus numbers. 100 to 1 or more. Anyone can really nail someone below 100 to 1. Like, I would say Cameron Tringale, 80 to 1, kind of a long shot bet there. I don't mind that. Like, I've been our girl, 90 to 1. I don't mind that as well. But I already mentioned Charlie Hoffman. If you want to bet him to like top 10, maybe outright, you can. 100 to 1, I don't mind that. You guys can go that route. But Chris Kirk was the first one that really stood out to me. 110 to 1. That to me is a standout play. So Chris Kirk, I believe he played golf in college or resides. Played golf in college. He did play golf in college. Obviously, we know that. I believe he played his college golf in Florida there, or he lives there or something. I think he has some sort of Florida connection there. But I really like him as a pick this week, guys. 39th in course history, once again, that's one miscut kind of factored in there. Other than that, a 13th and a 15th place finish. That is phenomenal. We look at his recent form. 2nd, 16th, miscut, and a 16th place finish. Stat fit wise, it could be a little bit better in greens gained. I do worry about that effective greens gain there. It could be a little bit better in par 5 scoring, but bogey avoidance, 8th in that. Ball striking and total driving are kind of right there as well. total putting the ball very well. You know, to get kind of a guy that's checking all the boxes at 110 to 1, that is something that is appealing to me, given those odds. And then Matthew Naismith, going to touch on him because he's just a quality stat fit this week. He's one of those guys that are due as well. You know, it really wouldn't shock me if he kind of was the Sam Burns this week where, he's in contention to win and then just can't close it out. That wouldn't shock me. So he only has one start here at this course, miscut. But other than that, pretty phenomenal. 8th stat fit, guys. 3rd in strokes gained total, 6th in effective greens gained, and his lowest stat, other than total putting, where he's horrible at, is 48th in bogey avoidance. Recent form-wise has been there, like I mentioned. After the miscut at the AMX, a 48th, a 7th, a 16th, and a 20th. So he's been playing phenomenal golf. You guys could easily carry that recent form with Matthew Naismith. And then we're going to look at Patton Cassier as well. Is it Cassier? If you guys missed that tweet, you missed out on it. It's the song Desire. I don't know. It's a good one. Find the tweet on 9 to 5. It's a good one. But kind of same story with him where, 2 miscuts, but he's a great stat fit. His recent form could be a little bit better, but we're really hanging our hat on the stat fit here, guys. 7th stat fit. And he really has no weakness, whereas Matthew Naismith had somewhat of a weakness, and he's really effective at what we want him to be effective at. So 25th in ball striking, 44th in bogey avoidance, 58th in effective greens gain, and 25th in par 5 scoring. So that is all signs or good signs that we want to see out of a long shot bet there. And then just going a little bit lower, there wasn't much that I wanted to see, but 175 to 1 for Patton Cassier, for a top 10 stat fit, that does make sense. But after that, long shot wise, not much that I was really hanging my hat on. Gosh darn it, I did it again. Hanging my hat on. The Tyrell Hatton, hanging my hat on. It's a it's kind of a meme that I posted on Twitter. It was a good one. But kind of just final thoughts here, guys. So we'll get into the final thoughts. So final thoughts for this week are that, I think that this week, DraftKings and really everyone else did a great job with the pricing and with the odds, that there's not that many standout picks, where it's going to be one of those weeks where, maybe it is more of a betting week because the numbers are all solid and you can kind of just pick and choose your spots where there's not any that are standing out, because in DFS, it's more or less going to be getting on the right track, getting kind of lucky with that as well, that, maybe someone like Sam Burns, who's chalky, maybe kind of disappoints and misses the cut. And, there's going to be a lot of other quality options right by him this week. So it's a very interesting week outright wise. I know last week kind of continued the, nut kick continuum of 2021, where we're just nailing second place winners. I guess we hit Daniel Berger, but Brooks Koepka finished second. Cameron Piercy, fell off there on Sunday. Was it Bryce Garnett and Rob Oppenheim were both in contention at the Puerto Rico Open. So, one of these guys that we mentioned here are guaranteed to be in contention and get second place, kind of like Sam Burns, I guess, 2 events ago where he got third place. So if you guys want to view the tools that were used on 9 to 5 Sports or on this video here, you can go to 9to5sports.com. All the tools are here for you guys to be able to use. Once again, my goal is to pretty much take the work out of it for you guys, make it as easy to use for you, the user, to be able to help you guys benefit, whether that's in PGA DFS or your fantasy golf bets. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like, subscribe. I do appreciate that. We'll be going live on Wednesday to kind of wrap up the week here for you guys. Keep that excitement up for the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I know I'm pretty excited for it if you guys can catch that. All right, I'm out. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.